I didn't know I wanted to do photography and videography when I was like 10.
Did you dream about working at NHL?
My first Canadians game ever was working, with the NHL. And I didn't think it would happen this way.
Do you have systems in place where you're able to achieve those goals?
Ooh, sorry, good question.
Talk about writing for Complex Canada, because
you're... yeah. I just want to have like talks like these. There's no looking back at this point.
Holy shit. Damn. How do you think that helps you as a creative?
Wow, that's really good. I don't even know if I can pinpoint one. As I'm saying, I'm like, yo, this is so weird to talk about. I never even really said that.
We are in sync.
What's up?
With the podcast and
this
in life,
rolling?
Karim. That's rolling. That's rolling.
How good.
Is my leg in the frame?
Is there what?
Is my leg in the frame if I do this?
No, I don't see it.
Okay, perfect. All right, so it's a bit of a tradition now.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Cafe Limo.
Okay. Oh, shout out. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
they provided us some drinks.
Okay,
so
that's fire.
let's have a little drink.
I'm very parched right now, so this is
bro,
perfect.
same, man, same. I was like, I want to fucking drink water and give you water, but I wanted us to have a sip.
This is sick, man. Yeah, I was struggling. This is sweet. What drink is it? Like lemonade?
So it's a coffee mixed with lemonade.
Coffee lemonade. Oh, that's fine. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, go. Oh my God.
It's good, right?
This is different.
I know.
I never heard of it. This is fine.
Just like the podcast.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was a thing. I'm actually really rocking.
Yeah.
That's fire.
So let's get kind of right into it,
Yeah, let's go ahead.
You said storytelling is your passion. So in your opinion, what really makes a good story?
Ooh, a good question, man.
Appreciate
to me, a good story is a truthful one. I think if you look at the media landscape, whether it be film, music, books, whatever the case may be, like people who make a living out of telling stories, I find sometimes it's not as authentic, it's not as true. Sometimes it's hard for me as a listener or watcher to like believe it. So if I find myself being very like invested in a story, if I feel something from the story, whether it just be like me having a laugh or feeling emotional about it or inspired, I think you've done your job in telling a good story. And there's a multitude of ways to do so, but I think if it's true, if it's authentic, you already have the recipe for a good story, in my opinion.
Yeah, in your humble opinion.
My humble opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so can you remember a story or a content that you watched and it touched your emotion where you were like, okay, this is something I want people to feel with my content?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of those, and probably a lot that I can't remember, but one that comes to mind right now is a Kobe Bryant documentary called The Muse. And that may be my favorite documentary like ever. And I'm a big like documentary
Is
guy.
it on Netflix?
It's an HBO documentary.
All right, I'm watching it.
It's somewhere on YouTube. It's hard to find sometimes, but I think someone still has it up on YouTube. Please don't take it down. So.
Yeah. Or should we put it in the description?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
And Kobe Bryant is like a huge inspiration for me, and I grew up playing ball, so
yeah,
that's a guy I always kind of like looked up to, and even beyond just sports. But that one right there. Again, going back to like it being true and authentic, I never really heard an athlete talk about the stuff that he was talking about, and very like openly. And it touches obviously about like his career, his come up, him growing up in Italy, being the only like black kid around, and not really fitting in, but finding his kind of safe haven in basketball and stuff like that, and touches upon a lot of just different stories about his come up and his career, but that one right there, I was like, oh, okay, this is different. I never hear athletes also talk about the stuff he was talking about, like so just candidly, So I was like, okay, this is refreshing right here. So that's one that comes to mind.
What is that one thing where one thing that he talked about and it touched you?
He talked about like I guess the inception of like the Black Mamba.
Oh yeah,
right?
Black Mamba.
So
Rest in peace, Kobe. By the way.
rest in peace, Kobe. Man, that's
Rest
my
in
guy,
power,
man.
baby.
And so he was talking about like kind of how that came about, and that was around the time where he had the whole court situation going on in Denver and stuff like that. So he talked about how basketball was kind of like, again, his safe haven, his safe space, and now because of like the controversy that's around him, now his safe space has become like obstructed, and fans and stuff keep like screaming at him. He doesn't feel good at home or on the court, so he had to psych himself out and create like a different persona, which is the Black Mamba, so that when he's on the court, like this is not Kobe playing right now, like this is the Black Mamba. I'm here to kill everybody on the court. Wait, can I cuss on this
oh
part?
Bro, you can do anything.
Oh, okay, it's just like fuck everybody. It's just like I'm doing my thing. So again, it's better when you listen to it, but like the way he talks about it, it's like you can feel the rage that was in him, just in him remembering that moment. And that's something I took with me. Even my friends and my crew call me Dream, and like to me, if I'm out doing my things, it's like, okay, this is Dream right here. Like Karim is a different type of person, but when it's time to like lock in, it's like that's kind of like the persona I try to like keep with me. This is a worker. I'm in the zone. No idea is ridiculous or too big. So yeah, that's kind of something I took with Kobe that really stuck with me.
So let's talk about the concept of Dream then.
Yeah.
How is Kareem different than Dream?
I think Kareem is very laid back, chilling.
Yeah.
Doesn't really want to do anything, honestly. Like, I just want to have like talks like these. I just want to go catch a good movie, go for a walk with my AirPods. Just like, just listen to different types of music. You know what I mean? I'm very much just chilling, but Dream is like, he's the storyteller in a sense. He's the creator. He's the curator. All the ideas that pop in my head, I let Dream. It's weird talking about it, but it's like, I let Dream kind of handle all that stuff. And when I don't feel like working, I don't feel like doing anything, but it needs to be done, it's like, okay, I gotta tap into a different mode right now. So that's kind of like how I decipher the two.
I kind of want to talk about a few things, but this one thing that you just said about Dream reminds me of, so I listened to this person named Andy Frisella.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know 75 Hard.
No,
it's a mental toughness challenge. So you have to do certain things for 75 days.
Okay.
And then you end up completing the challenge.
Interesting.
So it's basically for discipline.
Yeah.
And what he says is that he's someone who is kind of like Kareem, who just likes, just kind of, I mean, nobody really likes waking up at 5 a.m., for example, and like fucking, or studying for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. We all just kind of want to relax, watch some documentaries.
1,000%. Which I do maybe too much of. So
yeah. So what he says is every morning he wakes up.
Yeah.
And he basically wakes up to work for Andy Frisella.
Okay.
So he's working for this company.
Yeah.
He's an employee of Andy Frisella.
Yeah. That's a good perspective,
exactly. And something, I was listening to a podcast of his.
Yeah.
And he said, for example, when he has to make hard decisions, he thinks like, how will the company Andy Frisella will benefit this, rather than, for example, there was a couple times where he had to fire people that he didn't want to do. Right? Yeah. So he was like, but I'm working for Andy Frisella, and this is good for the company Andy Frisella rather than me. That's what this whole conversation kind of reminded me of.
1,000%. Yeah, no, that's a good way of of looking at it.
Yeah.
It's almost you are your own brand at the end of the day, and it's like in that case, it's like the two aren't very like different, but again, it's just how you approach it. You know what I mean? So it's still it's an extension of you, but like you try and heighten it to the best of its ability. You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like I'm the most like disciplined guy or the most consistent guy. I feel like I could be doing a lot more. And you know, a lot of people will try and like, well, people close to me will try and like, you know, snap me out of that thinking. But it's like I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm producing. And I know if I can do more, right? I'm the judge of my own work at the end of the day. So,
and you are your worst critic.
1,000%, almost to a fault. But I feel like you kind of have to. Also, you have to be very critical of your work, or else how do you know if you're doing anything right?
Because only you know your potential, right?
Yeah. It's hard sometimes to like engage in conversations with other people about what I should be doing, because I mean, and I'm always down to hear suggestions and like. I want people to enlighten me on different things, but at the end of the day, I go to sleep with myself. Like you only spend 24 hours with one person, and that's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I just try and just try and keep that in mind. But it's also a balance. But you have to try and like maximize the best parts of you as best as you can, or the best parts that are going to be beneficial to you.
100%,
like you said.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I mean, this is kind of like, you know, right now we're talking about how Karim is different than Dream.
Yeah.
And this is all about just your headspace and mindset.
Yeah. It's all really internal.
Yeah. So when was the first time you kind of started differentiating yourself from Dream? Right now we're kind of talking about like you have two personalities.
As I'm saying, I'm like, yo, this is so weird to talk about, because this is, I never even like really said that like like face to face, but yeah.
This is why, you know, you come to Creative Headspace, where you talk about your headspace and what kind of makes you the person you are, or what kind of makes you the creative that you are.
1,000%.
And I'm just really grateful that I have this ability where I can have these, some people will call cliche questions or conversations, but like, hey, I mean, I don't think you will have a conversation like this on record with anybody else.
There you go.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah,
that's on record, right? No,
exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. There you go.
So, when was the first time you kind of differentiating that mentality?
I want to say about like maybe 2 years ago or something. Like we were kind of coming out of the pandemic, and you know, during that time in lockdown, I had a lot of time, like everybody else, to kind of just think and wander and figure out really what they want to do. And you know, I kind of had a vision of like stuff I wanted to do in the future. You know, as far as media goes, storytelling, all that type of stuff. So, you know, I just caught myself in a zone where I was just like writing down a bunch of ideas and dreams and goals, and I'm like, okay, if I don't like achieve these things, like I don't know what else I'm gonna like do with my life. You know what I mean? It's like these dreams that I have, I'm like, it's all or nothing. You know what I mean? Like I don't see myself doing anything other than kind of like, you know, again, storytelling, being creative and all that stuff. Like I feel like I found my groove in a sense, and you know, I can't let anything kind of get in the way of that. And also I have like people to look after, like as far as my family and like, you know, people close to me, and it's like I feel a responsibility to them to kind of, you know, go as hard as I can, especially my parents, who like, I mean, you know, sacrifice a lot for me to kind of like, you know, do what I'm doing. And you know, sometimes it was hard conversations, but at the end of the day, like they were supportive, and it's like they've done everything for me, so I owe it to them also to go hard. So, you know, there's no looking back at this point. So I don't know, it was just like a mind shift at that point. And I was like, hey, I'm going for it. It's not just like a fun activity no more, although it still is, but it's like I gotta do this for real. You know what I mean?
Can we talk about these goals?
Yeah,
that you have?
1,000%. Yeah. I mean, so I have a media brand called Diff Minds, which I do with two of my best friends, Kyle and Edward, and we've been at it for 4 years, a little over 4 years. And initially it really started as a platform for me and my friends to just
Kick
just
it.
like fuck around, be
Yeah.
creative. Like we were just doing a bunch of like silly interviews and skits and vlogs and all that stuff. But after a while, us being around the city and around a lot of talent, we really recognized like a shift happening in the city, I would say. And I kind of took it personal that we didn't get like the recognition and the love that like we deserve. Not just us
I
like
love
as a
that.
brand,
Yeah.
but us as a city. Because the reason I love Montreal so much is because I feel like I am Montreal, like in a sense. Like it is the underdog. It is kind of overlooked. At times I feel like, oh, there's a lot of stuff I have to offer, but not a lot of people are really like tuning in to what's happening. It's diverse, has a lot of different flavors to offer. So we're like, yo, I think there's really something here, and I don't think people are really pushing for Montreal to be what it deserves to be. I look at cities like New York and LA and Toronto, which I like studied like closely and been around also, and seeing how they kind of like elevated to like world status and global status. And I'm like, yo, why can't that be the case in Montreal either? You know what I mean? So that's a big mission for me. I want Montreal to be like a premier destination for anybody that that's looking for a good time, that wants to listen to good music, go to great events, enjoy the amazing athletes that are around here. You know what I mean? So I really want to like help curate Montreal and its talents, for it to be kind of just like global and touch every corner of the world. So I want to do that through events, eventually like interviews, like this. Documentaries is something I want to do, or really produce and tell other people's stories. So it's vast, and there's a lot of things that I want to do, but all my time is kind of like invested into that. And anytime I slip away from it, I'm very cognizant of it. I'm like, okay, remember what the mission is. It's like, dude, everything is for the city. That's really what I want to do.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a long-winded answer
Montreal,
or not, but
yeah. No, man, honestly speaking, I've said this a few times, but I moved to Montreal a year ago.
Yeah.
And like July of 2022.
Crazy.
And, I mean, it is so welcoming, and there's so much shit that goes on.
It's a lot.
And it helps your creativity so much. Like, for example, tomorrow there's this event that content creators kind of like they curated this event, and there's going to be a bunch of creatives there.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to go because I have this opportunity in Montreal where I can have conversations with those people
1,000%.
at that event and just induce my creativity.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And when you're around the city, often and you meet these different creatives, despite which kind of like domain they kind of exist in. We're very much similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And at first, because the kind of like narrative around Montreal was like, oh, this is a city of haters and no one supports, blah blah blah, and like I never really like bought into that, but it did start creeping in my head. I was like, damn, are we just kind of like done for, and we got to get out the city if we really want to like make it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then I get around all these creatives and have talks like these, and I'm like, hold on, like we all really want the same thing, and we can help each other, and we can collaborate. We bring a bunch of different stuff to the table, so it's like we have the sauce. You know what I mean? So let's just come together and do what we do. You know what I mean? And eventually, like people are gonna catch on. You can't deny good work. You can't 100%. Deny good art. Good is good. And we have great, if you ask me, when treated the right way. And obviously there's a bunch of, like forks in the road as far as like, language barriers and, gatekeepers and, some people doing bad business, whatever the case may be. But look at any other city, there's going to be problems too. So it's like, let's not
Indeed.
focus on that and just kind of embrace like the great stuff that we do have to offer.
You would consider yourself quite optimistic, hey? Or you try at least.
I would say so. I would say
Yeah.
so. Sometimes I catch flack for it because I'm not being as like realistic in a sense, or I'm not really looking at every angle. But truth is, like, I do, but I just choose to look at the bright side of things. I think everything as I forget who said this, but like everything is figure outable, and I heard that and I was like, oh yeah, like that resonates with me. There's been so many great, creations done, and again, cities and artists that have popped off. So it's like there's a lot of blueprints for us to follow. So I say, why not? You know what I mean? Let's just figure it out, or at least try to figure it out. And someone smart enough is going to come around to kind of like, patch everything up if need be. But I think we got everything we need.
I'm just excited to see, because it's the energy that. So here's the thing, going back to for like a couple seconds about responsibility.
Yeah.
I read somewhere where we as humans have a responsibility around our loved ones and the world in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, if I'm being a lazy piece of shit, then that probably influences some loved ones to be lazy as well, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm being disciplined, it's not even about being disciplined. It's just being able to put that energy where I show people that I'm doing the shit that I actually want to do, and that's possible.
Yeah.
Other people, it motivates other people, inspires other people.
It's infectious, honestly. And again, that's the great thing about being other like creatives and stuff, because it's like, oh, they're doing this, he's doing that, she's doing this. It's like, damn, I gotta get on my grind too. You know what I mean? Like you just get kind of like you get pumped. You know what I mean? And you obviously don't have to like get yourself down about it, but that should be an encouraging thing. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like everyone's really on it. Like they're on 10. Like I gotta go hard. You know what I mean? So that's a great thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. So if I may ask, you are very hard on yourself, hey?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
And how's that relationship been like?
Like to myself?
Yeah, and with your work.
It hasn't always been like advantageous, I'll say, because I get in my own way a lot of times. Again, everything is internal. Everything lives here. So I'm also big on like how the brain works, because like I've gotten myself in my own way a lot of times. I've stressed myself out more than I should, develop like just anxiety around things that really aren't that serious when you really like unpack it, you know what I mean? So again, it stems from a place of me just wanting to do good work, and again to live up to that responsibility that I set for myself, quite frankly, for like people around me and people that I think deserve opportunities. But it has to be like a balance. But like I've definitely like just hit slumps and like had like burnouts that have really like fucked me up for a little while, to be honest. But then you look back and you're like, okay, what was really the issue? And it's like, oh, I wanted to achieve this by this time or by this age. But it's like, okay, if it didn't happen, like I'm still like alive, like I'm still chilling. I still have a shot at those things. So it's like there's nothing really to be like stressed out about. Again, it's all perspective. That's really what it is.
You were born in LaSalle, right?
I was born in Toronto. But I came here when I was 5. Moved to Montreal when I was 5. But when we came here, we were in LaSalle the whole time.
Your parents are not from Canada?
Parents are from Senegal.
Yeah, so we as immigrants have a responsibility as well.
Because
we know what our parents did.
Now you're talking.
No, bro, it's like our parents gave us this opportunity to be creative. If this is probably coming from some ignorance, but I feel like if I was in Pakistan, I might have not had the opportunity that I have here in Montreal. I feel like the same thing with you living in Senegal.
1,000%. And also, for me, I have older siblings as well, and I'm the youngest one by like by far.
Oh wow.
Like my brother just turned 39.
Holy
Like a couple yeah, yeah. My
damn.
sisters are like 43 or 44 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and anyway, so like you know, I've seen what my parents have done for them, quite a lot, and God bless them. They're doing great. They got families that they're raising and stuff. So also just seeing them kind of like benefit from the sacrifices that like my parents made for them. It's like, okay, I'm just like I'm grateful for what they did for me, but just as much as what they did for them, because they also kind of like laid the path for me to like be free, do what I want to do. And obviously like there's still the conversations about like, or there was the conversations about, oh, you should like just be a doctor, engineer, or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
the classic like immigrant talk. But even if they didn't always understand what I was trying to do or agree with what I wanted to do, they still gave me the range to like just go for it. So just for that alone, I'm like, okay, I owe you guys, and I have to prove you guys that like you didn't make a mistake in letting me kind of like go in this direction, and I got y'all, trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's big for me.
And that's something that motivates you kind of like quite
Yeah,
consistently.
that's probably like at the top of my list. I love people, I love everybody, but like, sorry, I love my parents more. So it's like I really gotta look after them, and they're retired now too.
Yeah.
So again, I just want them to live their best life. You know what I mean? I have like, my whole life ahead of me still. But I want them to enjoy as much as possible. And I feel like that's on me now. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's beautiful. I mean, this conversation itself is inspiring and refreshing. Just a hypothetical question, but do you think you would have pushed yourself to be this creative that you are if your parents didn't support you?
No. Definitely not. Definitely not. So that's a question I actually never really thought about. But yeah, I don't think so. Because like my mom like took money from like her own savings for me to like get my first like camera. And that was like a big deal, for her, but also for me. Cuz it's like, that's money that could have definitely been used for different things, and that was money for my school actually.
Wow.
That was supposed to be the case, but like because I kept borrowing like cameras and stuff for me to like go do my stuff, or renting out from school or whatever for me to like do my stuff. And I was always just in and out, just like shooting stuff. And like even my mom would ask me, like, what are you doing exactly? I'm like, just like,
yeah.
she's like, yo, like, do you really like want to do this? I'm like, yeah, like I'm really having fun with it. I think this is gonna be beneficial for me to just produce my own stuff. And yeah, I'm just vibing out right now. So she's like, all right, like, look, I got this money. I never told you about it. I this wasn't supposed to go to your camera. I'm just like, yo, like, take it, go ahead, and I hope you use it to like the best of your
That's beautiful.
ability. And I was like when she did that, I'm like, oh God, like, and I still remember like I bought the camera, and like me and my boys were like at Eaton Center, and like I unboxed it there, and it's like, oh, okay, like this is a wrap. Like I'm taking over. Like I got my own camera now, and it was a joyous moment. But I say that to say, had she not done that, I don't know if I would have felt as motivated to really go for it. Because now, like, I have a camera, I have a lot less excuses to do what I want to do. But I was riding with that thing for
I mean,
years.
It kind of shows the stuff that you have produced.
Yeah, no, I tried, and sometimes I got contracts or opportunities. I'm like, yo, are y'all sure? Because I'm like, there's other people that can do like better quality stuff than I can, but I made it work as best as I can. So yeah, shout out to my mom for the camera. My dad got me a new Mac also. Like he helped me like finance it and pay that off, because I had a old MacBook Air with like Premiere Pro and Photoshop like cracked like on it. And I got it. I made a deal with a friend to like get my hands on it, but I was like, it was just like shutting down. I was like, damn, like Dad, I need his new like laptop.
Yeah,
but, like you're not gonna like the price. And he definitely did not like the price, and he still reminds me like every day. But he was like, if you're really serious about this, if you really like need this, like cool, like
That's awesome.
I was telling my mom I'm coming here to like record a podcast with like somebody I met online. She's like
what's
what?
a podcast?
Like, it's just like, what is this? But she's like, okay, I guess I go ahead, catch you later. So
yeah.
Man,
there's so much to like.
Yeah, sorry if I'm
to
rambling.
dive
By
into.
the way.
No,
I know I can
bro,
talk a lot, so.
I'm honestly loving this. This not to say this, but like this has been one of my favorite conversations.
Oh wow,
it's,
I'm happy
it's
to
just,
hear that.
I think an immigrant to immigrant.
Yeah,
it just
we relate.
we relate, man. Talk about writing for Complex Canada.
Man, that was big, and like everything I'm doing now all started and stemmed from me writing first. I went to Dawson in cinema communications with a minor in journalism because that was the only way I could study journalism. That's all I had my eyes set on. After I realized, okay, I'm probably not going to go to like the NBA or something. I was like, okay, maybe instead of playing ball, I could talk about it. I was like, okay, what is that? So I went in that direction. But the path that I knew was you write, you get good at that, you build those skills, you go to radio, develop, that skill, do it for a little while, then eventually you get to TV. And like that's where I wanted to land. So I was like, okay, I got to start with writing, learn how to tell a story, learn how to interview, learn how to format all this stuff. So that was kind of like what set me off on the whole media journey. And as far as Complex goes, even with Diff Minds, like Complex was like a model for me that I tried to like follow. As far as a media brand that covers the culture, that's big on digital media also, that was like big for me. So it was at a time where I was like, I just want to like get back to writing a little bit, and just started like pitching ideas. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just like I'll just like try and find somebody at Complex Canada. I was like, I have nothing to lose, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, like, are you guys looking for people to write? And initially I asked them if I could like shoot for them. I was like, oh, is there any like internship opportunities for like video production or whatever? But if you guys want a writer also, like I'm down to do it. But I just kind of threw it in there. But they're like, oh, we can't do video right now. But yeah, if you're down to like write, just pitch some ideas. So I was like, hey, what do I know best? And it's like, it's the top of the year. And I kept following what like OVO was doing, and it kept hinting at different like stuff for the year. I was like, okay, maybe I can write about this. So yeah, just threw it their way. And they're like, okay, cool. We like it. We're going to post it in a few weeks. And I was like, oh, that was sick. That was a cool little moment. I should have done more afterwards. But yeah, that's something I was really happy about. Yeah,
that's fantastic. How did you reach out to them? Just cold email, DM?
Email. No, cold DM. There was a writer. Shout out to Louis, who's at Complex Canada, because I'd read a lot of his articles, and he's from Montreal also. So I was like, okay, maybe he could like help me out with this, and he directed me to. I'm forgetting his position, but I want to say a head coordinator or editor in chief, something at Complex Canada.
Okay.
He's like, he I don't know what he's gonna say, but here's the email, and just shoot your shot. So yeah, it was really that that simple.
No, that's fantastic, man, and that's inspiring. And let me tell you why it is, because I would love to. I've been trying to write. Well, where am I going with this? I want to turn this, like, okay, here's the thing. I want to have a website for the podcast where these conversations can be like as blogs.
Yeah.
So I would love to turn this conversation into that blog.
That's fine.
And start a website. And I would love like, I mean, moving forward, I will do it myself. But like, if you can help me out to turn this conversation into a blog,
Oh,
then
bro,
I will be
100%,
able to,
yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
repurpose that with other conversations.
I'm
And
with it. Yeah.
this way I'll
For
have a
sure.
website too.
And that's a good initiative on your part too, because you know there's a plethora of like content to be consumed out there, but I think people fail to realize sometimes there's different ways that people consume.
Indeed.
So it could be audio, it could be video. Like sometimes I have a hard time listening to a podcast. I need to like watch it like in front of me.
Yeah.
So like that's how it works for me. Sometimes I don't want to hear some like 15-second TikTok about some news. I want to go read about it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's a good initiative.
No, I would love
your
that.
part.
I mean, see, this is why, because earlier you asked, like, why is it that you started these conversations? Like,
Yeah.
we can build these relationships with these meaningful conversations, and then
100%.
you don't know who needs help and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
we
yeah.
can, like, who knows where our relationship can go.
Yeah,
type
for
of thing.
sure, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you get into content creation? Because,
Mhm.
you know, you got this camera that your mom bought you.
Yeah.
How, like, what inspired you to start creating content?
Yeah. So I mean, prior to that, when I was at Dawson, that's where I studied in CEGEP. So I went to Dawson, and again from there, my eyes were just set on, going into media and TV and stuff. But I have my issues with like traditional media. I feel like sometimes it's too like segmented. It's not as like free flowing. Sometimes it's just the business of it is very like hindering to people's like success.
Biased.
Bias also
Very
1,000%.
biased.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of stuff about traditional media that I didn't really like. And for me studying it, I'm like what really like hit me. I was watching the news. I had to watch the news for an assignment, and I don't know. They were talking about some like shooting that had happened, and like you'll go on site. You'll have your cameraman, get your mic, talk about what happened, and you're simply like just reporting on like the news that's happening, and it's vital information to know. Like I want to know if something popped off like at my corner, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like it's valuable, but I really sat on the idea of like, oh, we're still good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, okay.
For half a second, I was like, "Oh, what
What
if
if it
this?"
shut off?
Oh, yeah, or what if it's not recording?
That's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I was really sitting on the idea of like, yo, why does this just have to live in like a 5-minute segment on TV and then just go on to the next thing? Like, for me as a just naturally curious person, I'm like, well, why did the person, shoot up the whole place? Are they dealing with something? Were they looking for somebody? How are the people? How are the victims affected by this? It's stuff like that. To me, there's like, again, back to the whole storytelling thing. Like in one story, there's a lot of different perspectives, and just lanes to be explored. And I'm like, oh, like, am I really working hard just for me to like just report on some stuff and for it to like be cut off and we go on to the next thing? Because that's how the news cycle goes. I'm like, yeah, I want to do a little bit more of that. So anyway, long story short, traditional media just wasn't like, it didn't seem as appealing to me anymore. And I really wanted to like go into digital media where you can produce your own stuff. You have control. You can have your own blog. You can have your own podcast. You can have a show with a format that you enjoy. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't want to rely on traditional media for me to like tell the stories I want to tell. It has to be on me. So what do I need to do? Okay, if I need to learn how to record. I need to know how audio works, how lighting works, and just explore that. And I need to be able to do it on my own. And in some classes in journalism also, they'll like encourage you to know all these things. So in case there's a story out, like what to do, you're out in the field and you can do your thing. But I was like, I want to be more creative with it. So I need to know how to produce it, because traditional media is not going to allow me to do so. They have their own agenda and the way that things work, and that's fine. But it wasn't fitting for me. So I was like, okay, I need to like start messing around with these cameras and just learn. But through learning, it just got me kind of down this path. I was just like, okay, this is what I need to do to be on TV, but I just never like stopped like at that point. So that's really what it was.
Do you want to be on TV eventually? Kareem, the Dream TV show?
Yeah, I mean,
Late night?
My goal, yeah, I had like 2 goals of mine. It was like, I need to be on like Sports Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was on Sports Center, and I need to have my own like late night TV show.
Yeah.
But again, like, I enjoy my independence and my own production too much for me to revert back to like somebody else giving me a platform to do so if I can do it by myself. I'm not opposed to the idea, like if the opportunity comes along, like of course I'd be down, you know what I mean? But like there's things that I have to make sure that it kind of goes my way. That may be a little like egotistical to say, but it's like,
no, it's not. I mean, that's how you are as a creative.
yeah. It's like I have a really hard time doing things I don't really enjoy doing, and when I'm cognizant of it, it's hard. Like it just doesn't really like sit well with me. So it'd be fun still, and it's like it's goals I would want to like check off. But eventually, like if I can just build my own thing, and you can have it be bigger than TV. So it's like was TV really even that worth it if you can just have your own thing and have control? You know what I mean? And do it your way. Like I'd much rather do that. So
fantastic.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. I'm an open book, man. Ask away.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so then talk about your love for curation, you know, and how do you think that helps you as a creative?
I think curation for me is like setting the scene for your own movie or your own story, whatever the case may be. So, like let's take this setup for example, right?
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy conversations where, you know, we're just sitting on the couch, maybe we have some good music, you know what I mean, and we're chilling on beanbags and we're laid back and like we're comfortable in this situation, right? Other people might choose to have a more what's the word I'm looking for? Like a proper classic style interview. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know, like
a formal,
formal setting, a la like 60 Minutes or whatever, which is fine too. You know what I mean? But it by you curating it this way and having, you know, the LED light bulbs, which I think is dope as hell, and having the drink, which is fire. It's like, okay, now you're in your element, you're in your zone. And by you curating this space, not only for you, but like curating for me, it's like I feel comfortable and I'm ready to like go and talk for 3 hours if we have to, and I'm good to go. You know what I mean? So that I think that's the value of curation, is really just setting the scene for what you want to give out to the public. Yeah, curation is just vital to any creation. You have to set the scene. You have to explain it to an audience. You can't just expect people to really like understand what message you're trying to convey. So I think that's where the value lies. If you're doing a dark R&B album like The Weeknd or something, it'll be a lot different than how you promote a future album, or a podcast, you know what I mean, a book or something like that, you know what I mean. You just want to like, you want to set the scene, and like I enjoy curation because, again, if I don't feel anything about the product, the service, whatever you're trying to offer me, then it's like the chances are I'm not gonna go check it out. There's like a million other things that I could, you know, tune into and go back to that I enjoy. So you have to like, you have to bring me into your world, essentially. Like world building is kind of how I like.
That's a fantastic way to put it.
Think of it. Yeah. Like that's huge for me. Yeah. And I think it's important for any creative to build a world, but that's true to you.
Curation is how you create.
Yeah. Your curation leads to your creations.
All right. Your that's curation is your creation. Leads to your creation. All right.
That's how I like to think about it.
So, you said meaningful conversations give you life and energy.
Yeah.
Can you
I'm
remember?
already pumped right now. No lie.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
for real.
Hell yeah. Can you, and so am I, man. Honest to God.
Sick.
Can you remember a meaningful conversation you had that helped you as a creative?
Wow. A meaningful conversation that helped me as a creative. Wow, that's really good. I don't even know if I can pinpoint one, but there's a lot of.
That's totally fine. It's a
That's
very
really good.
it's a question that kind of puts you right at the.
Yeah. I mean, I can say like I just, whether it be through like different conversations, like with other creatives or not, oftentimes I'll like take something from it, even if I'm like just talking like about like, I don't know, relationships with a girl or something. Like there's a lesson there that I take. I write down, or I'll take a note on my phone or whatever, and I'll come back to it and try and like associate that with some sort of like creation or something that I was thinking of doing. Like I like involving a lot of life stuff in kind of like what I do. So that, or even if I'm listening to like other interviews and stuff like that, which I do like often, that's where I'm kind of like picking a lot of gems. But I'll say one valuable advice. And actually, my friend told me this. My friend Edward, who I do Diff Minds with, he told me this, and he didn't even know he was like really giving me advice. We were just kind of like talking, but he mentioned something about, it's like, yo, like I saw someone had asked me like, if you could dream big and you knew it wouldn't fail, like what would you dream about? And he kind of said that in conversation. I just stopped. And this was at a time where like I was kind of like really struggling with like, I guess like my identity and what I wanted to do, what my future looked like, if I was making the right decisions. And when he said that, I was like, damn. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I gotta write this down right now. And like I every other day, like I go in my notes and check that out. But that's like something that really like stuck with me, because again, how I was talking about like me getting in my own way. Again, it's all internal, right? So
Yeah.
if I choose to dream as big as I can, and I'm able to just like map it out and figure out different ways to get to that point, like if I eventually get there, like I'll be the happiest man alive. And to me, that's like it's something that's worth trying. You know what I mean? And even if I don't, then at least I'll be doing the stuff that I enjoy doing in pursuit of whatever thing, whatever destination, but I'll have fun along the way.
You're kind of shooting for the stars, and if you end up landing on, what's the quote or the phrase?
I don't know that.
But like you aim really high, and even if you cannot get to that,
it,
or you cannot achieve it, you still get close.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Even, Kobe had said like, I try and like, or I don't know if it was Kobe or Muhammad Ali, I can't remember. My mind is blanking right now, but it's like someone had said like, every time I train, I try and reach perfection because I know I'll never get there. But because no one can be perfect. But again, to the same point, like if you try and go as high as you can, like you'll land somewhere that you'll be satisfied with anyways.
Do you want to talk about that one thing that you're trying to achieve, or that dream?
I don't think there is one thing.
What is that something that you look in your notes?
As far as like something I want to do like in the future.
Yeah, because like, you said so. Edward told you that.
And so yeah, that was when he told me that, I wrote down that quote like in my notes right away. Okay. And I'm like, I need to come back to this every other day as a reminder of like, yo, dream big. It's like no one can call me dreaming for me to like not like dream. That'd be going against like everything I'm about. So I'm like, yeah, don't be afraid to like, dream big, because hey, yo, if it happens, then you'll be great. And it's also a good thing for me to remind myself of, because it's not even about it's not about the destination, it's the journey, like people like to say. But I really like resonate with that, because the destination is is only but a moment. You know what I mean? Like, it happens, you'll be happy. Like, let's say you want to make like $1 million, right? And a couple months from now, like, yo, your Bitcoin investment goes crazy and you made $1 million. It's like, oh my God, guys, I'm a millionaire. Like, I'm chilling. I can do whatever I want. I can travel to Croatia now. We can eat all the lobster we want, whatever. So like, you'll vibe out, you'll enjoy that moment, but it dies down after a while.
100%.
And I've never been a millionaire, so I don't know. But I
Soon
know
though.
I've achieved goals that like were really meaningful to me, and it's like, okay, I'm happy about it. I want to celebrate it. I want to scream at the top of my lungs that I made it. But it's like, okay, like,
Now what?
now what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a hard time sometimes like just setting like a set destination or set goal. I just like have a bunch of stuff I want to achieve, and I have more so like ideas of how I want to like live life, rather than just like specific things I want to reach. Because I'll get it and then I'll enjoy it for a while, but like life goes on after, and it's like, hey, what now?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Do you have systems in place where you're able to achieve those goals?
That's something I'm working on, I'll say, and it's like it's a concept that I'm learning a lot more about, because for a lot of my life, like, things were just like go, and you know, it worked out for a little while for me to not even think about like the idea of like having a set system or set routines for me to really like pursue the things that I want. But like, after I feel like I hit a wall, I was like, okay, maybe like I'm not going about it the right way. Just because it's working so far doesn't mean this is the right thing to do. There's like working hard and there's working smart, and I'd rather work smart and efficiently and have a system in place rather than just like go full throttle and like make things happen. So as I'm going along, I'm realizing like what works for me, what's a system and routines that, you know, are accustomed to me and that I'm comfortable with. It's like, I don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. just so I can feel productive. I can wake up at like 11 a.m. but get work done the whole day and still feel good about, you know, what I've done. As long as you're like,
Fantastic.
as long as I'm like progressing, then to me I'm doing a good thing. So again, it's just about finding what works for you. How do I like to work? Sometimes I dread editing. You know what I mean? But I'm like, okay, if I just start with just drafting like the clips that I want to use, just that, I'm already like in a zone, and I'm already forgetting about the fact that I didn't want to do this, and now I'm enjoying it. Or I found the right music, the right song rather, that I want to put in this edit that really got me like pumped, or I feel fits this scene best. You know what I mean? So it's a constant like learning curve for me.
It's a similar concept, like doing something for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. That was you just have to like start.
Just start.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just start, and you'll catch momentum. So yeah, that's something I'm trying to navigate. I won't say I'm the best at it. There's definitely like, you know, peaks and lows, but there's a lot of value in doing just that, having a system in place.
Did you dream about working at NHL?
Sort of, kinda. Like, I was a big hockey guy, like when I was a kid. Like live, breathe, like hockey and Montreal Canadiens. I was like, yo, that's my thing. And, you know, just you know, as a kid, I was really invested in it, but never thought that like I would like work in that space. And then even, you know, starting, you know, to study journalism and wanting to go down that path, like there was the idea of like, oh, it'd be cool like one day to kind of like cover like, you know, Stanley Cup finals or whatever, like cool. But it wasn't like something I really set my mind on. Even when it happened, I was like, it was kind of like out of nowhere. So it's not a dream that I had, but I was like, once I was there, I was like, damn, like I in a way like manifested it, because it was constantly like on my mind, just as a maybe. And then it happened, and I didn't think it would happen this way, or even in this role. I didn't know I wanted to do photography and videography when I was like 10. but I
Yeah.
didn't know that was a thing. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a weird moment, but it was like a full circle.
So how did it happen?
Yeah, how'd it happen, man? Like, I wish I had some like crazy, some crazy story for you, but it was at a time where I was just like looking for jobs. I was like, yeah, I need some guap right now. And it was still like lockdown, but like some restrictions were like coming down, and this was the start of the 2021-22 season, and there weren't any like fans in the arena. Like it was
Yeah.
around that time, and I was on Indeed on like page 12 or whatever, and I saw a live social contributor by National
Yeah.
Hockey League. I was like, this got to be fake. Like, what the hell is the NHL doing on Indeed? Like, I just
Right.
didn't think for a brand that big that it would be that accessible to like apply for
Yeah.
a job. So I was like, oh, this has got to be fake. But I contacted them, and that same day or the day before, I just like finally done like my website, which like people were like harassing me like to do. Like people like I talk to and respect in this space. So like, yo, you need a website. You need a website.
I
You
know.
need a website.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fine. Like I'll get it done. And like I just love the layout of it. And I
Yep.
shot a lot of like basketball stuff, like mainly before. So like sports was like pretty much like flooded on the page. So I was like, oh my god, like I just did the website. This is like let's see if this works. You know what I mean? So I applied, put my CV, put like link to my website, and the same day, the girl called me and was like, okay, listen, like we're looking for someone in Montreal to like, you know, cover, like do some live coverage of these games. Like season is starting soon. I love your work. I love your website. And when she said that, I was like, okay, good.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I did,
yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
the right thing. And she's like, yo, like, are you really interested in doing this? I'm like, yo, hell yeah, yo, just sign me up now. Like I'm down. She's like, okay, like, you know, you convinced me. And I could tell she was like rushing and stressed out about this, because like when she called me, she was like walking her dog and like breathing hella hard on the phone. But like I could tell, like, okay, like we need to figure this out now, and you're available. So it's like, yo, do you want to do this for real? I was like, yeah, so just sign me up. Like I'm just taking the opportunity. So yeah, started that season. Like I just started my third season with the NHL.
And now you got promoted
This year.
not too long ago.
No, not promoted. So
Because now you're a video editor.
I've done video editing for them prior. Like my main role with them, again, as a live social contributor.
So what does that mean?
title
Yeah.
says. Man, essentially, bro, it's just like, yo, we need photos, we need videos. There's a bunch of photographers like at each game, but a lot of them are for different media. Some of them are for the Montreal Canadiens themselves. So, you know, oftentimes the league just needs extra content or extra coverage, or oftentimes the away teams don't have their own personnel there for content. So the NHL relies on live social contributors in each NHL city to cover not only the home teams that are playing, but the away teams that are coming that need extra coverage. And also the league itself needs the content as well
100%.
for their own social platform. So that's kind of where we come in and help them out. But it's been a great just platform for me to just kind of like improve, be in
How
a
so?
different environment. It's just like, I never shot hockey before that. It's a sport that goes like really fast.
Yeah.
With the NHL, like the turnaround in which you have to like give in content is very like quick. You know, you have your demands before each game. Sometimes it's like they don't really need that many things. It's just like, yo, if they score a goal and there's nice celebrations, like, yo, try and capture it
Yeah.
as you can. And sometimes it's good not to stress about it, because there's like a bunch of other photographers that may get it, and there's obviously the live game anyways, right? So there's always content going around, but it's just kind of nice to see how it works, just the whole operation of it, just being in that environment. Also, like it's just sick. My first Canadians game ever was working, you know, with the NHL. You know, we could just never afford tickets to go before. So just even being in that environment, it's like, okay, this is, you know, there's a lot of, you know, people around, different characters you gotta deal with. knowing what to shoot, what not to shoot, when's an appropriate moment to do this or do that. Because like sometimes, for example, like we'll be in the tunnels. And like I hate being the guy that's just like in somebody's face with a camera. I'm like, he's just trying to get a locker room and like get ready for the game. Like he's not worried about you really. So I'm like, okay. Just as far as like interactions goes, like I'm like, okay, maybe there's some things like I need to like lay off of, or, and also like every game it gets redundant because sometimes it's the same shot list. You know, get player arrivals. You know, they do their warm ups like in the tunnels, get shots of those. You know at what time, like at 6:23 or something before each 7 p.m. game. That's when they go on the ice and warm up. Then they leave and come back for, you know, player introduction. So it's like everything is the same. So it's like, damn, you got to get creative at some point and figure out different ways to maneuver.
So you're in the tunnel too.
Yeah. At the beginning of the game, not the locker rooms itself, but like the tunnels in which like they enter the arena. Sometimes they ask for content about that, and you can just kind of like roam around. I mean, obviously with the right pass and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's just been fun to kind of like explore. Like the first season with no fans, like I could walk around the whole arena like I wanted to, and that was sick. I was like, this like playground for me. So learning how to document different things, and then fans are there, you're limited to kind of where you can go and where you're seated, different angles, stuff like that. So it's little like tactics that I've like picked up along the way that have helped me in other shoots. Sometimes subconsciously it's just like, okay, this shot is getting boring, like, okay, let's try something else, let's try a different angle, stuff like that. So yeah, that's been a fun experience. I don't do it all the time because obviously there's not games every day, but it's been fun so far.
Have you watched Habs with your parents?
Pardon?
Have you watched Habs with your parents?
Oh, my dad, yeah. Like, yo, when they used to make the playoffs and they were actually good, like we used to watch it like all the time.
No, at the stadium.
Oh, no. So I mean, they're not like allowed to like come with me. Unfortunately, they don't offer me tickets either. Yeah. Which I'm still trying to like work on. Nicole, please, like let's work something out. But they haven't been able to come through. Not that they even want to, I think so. Especially not my mom. She doesn't give a shit about like Fair sports enough. Like that. So
yo, you remember when I hit you up for tickets? I was like, yo, like yeah. How did you feel? Because you didn't really know me at that time.
I don't like. It's just like, yo, if I can help somebody out, like have a good time. Like sometimes I just feel bad because I'm like, there's only so much that I can do. But I was like, yo, if I can make something happen, then yeah, fine. Like I'm with it. Like if someone did that for me, I'm like, yeah, I'd be like ecstatic. You know? What I mean?
Exactly. So no,
I was just like, yo, like this is what I know I can do. Like, you know, I'll if you what I don't even know what I told you.
You
like,
said
maybe you can get a ticket and then I can kind of like move you down and stuff like that. I was like, maybe I can try and work my magic as best as I can. It doesn't always work out. It rarely works out, but yeah, I just try.
But if Habs make the playoffs, me and my girl. Do you have a girl?
No, I'm very
working on it.
Very single.
Very single.
Very single. Yeah.
Do you think because you have high expectations?
Because I've had expectations of like of a woman, like
of a woman. Yeah.
Nah, I think I'm just not ready for it. Just not ready for it. Like I have a lot of learning on my end that I have to do, like just for myself, and I need to love myself more. Honestly, as cheesy as that may sound, but it's like I don't know if I can really like offer somebody like the best relationship if I can't even offer myself the best like.
See, that's interesting because I used to think the same way, but now this is going to be more cliche because my girl, she loved me more than I loved myself at the start. Yeah. I even like, bro, today, like when I slept in, I don't like myself a lot of times because I just know my potential.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm not doing that, then I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
Yeah. And then my girl is like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Good job, this and that. So it definitely.
But and that can work too. Like for me, I just feel like I have to get myself to a good place for me to accept somebody else's like love.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, yo, if the right one really like comes around and like just like hits me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cliches in this one, but yeah, like if she comes through and I'm like, damn, like this girl is like mad fire. Like I'm like, yo, maybe I have to like reconsider like my thinking and not like let this good opportunity go if it comes around. But I just don't feel like I'm ready. And even just within like my family and friends, I'm like, there's a lot of like relationships that I should probably like handle a lot like better. And invest more time in. So like, let alone a girl right now. Like, I feel like she'd end up just hating me after a while. But hey, if the right one comes along, I'm open to it.
Maybe we do a double date.
Oh,
at
maybe
the playoffs.
So. That'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be sick. Habs game is a perfect date, honestly.
Yeah.
Bro, it's fire. Like just the ambiance is just sick.
True.
You don't even have to like hockey to just enjoy the vibe. Hopefully
especially
they win.
Playoffs.
Playoffs, but I can only imagine, bro. Yeah, if that's something you could do, bro, like your girl will thank you for sure.
Yeah.
Afterwards, yeah.
No, I mean, bro, she's got 30K on her Habs fan page.
Oh, she has a Habs fan page.
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Bro,
sick.
Okay,
she's like an avid fan,
bro.
Like,
The engagement of these Habs fan is crazy.
Real, like, how long have you been in Montreal again?
Year and like 3 months.
A year and 3 months. So, if you haven't noticed by now, like hockey and the Canadians is not a sport. It's a fucking religion. For the real Canadians fans, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I've never seen anything like it. It's intense. They live, breathe the Canadians. If the Canadians are bad, their life is shit. It's like people are like fans, bro. The Habs fans, like I just never seen anything like it. And I'm a big fan, but I'm like, I'm just like, hey, it's not all that deep, you know what I mean? But yeah. So I say that to say I can only imagine the engagement that she gets on it.
Yeah, man, it's nuts. Like yesterday, she posted a goal.
Yeah.
Man, she had 100 shares in less than like 4 minutes.
I mean, I was at the game yesterday and there was a Cole Caulfield like overtime
OT goal.
That shit was sick though. The arena was dope, and also because they suck. So like when there's a good moment, it's like people are really hype. So yeah.
Why is it that we suck so much, bro? Our like three of our, cause like my girl talks about Habs every single second.
Yeah.
Our three of our players who are like the best players got injured, right?
Yeah, I mean, past seasons, I mean, injuries have definitely like played a role. But to me, I mean, the main thing is just like youth. And again, like I'm no hockey expert. I'm a fan, and I work for the NHL, but I'm no hockey expert.
Well,
I could talk more basketball than I could talk like hockey. But youth is like definitely like a big thing. Also, it's just like a really like young team, and like some players definitely just haven't found their way yet. So it's like it's very much like in a rebuilding phase right now. So
I have a question.
Yeah,
and this is something like, why is it that NHL it doesn't get the hype like NBA does or NFL does? NFL makes sense now. Now they got their partnership with YouTube, so that probably helps.
Yeah,
a lot of content creators have come in, and it's like it's trendy, it's more mainstream. But NHL, like the biggest, I think Austin Matthews has like 400K followers on Insta,
if not more.
If
not more, he's a big draw for sure.
He's the biggest draw.
I would say
in terms of media.
Connor McDavid is another one.
McDavid is?
Yeah, he's the next one. Like that's what people are like
after
claiming
Gretzky.
him as. Yeah, pretty much. And ironically, he plays for the Edmonton Oilers.
Exactly.
So, so he's like the guy they're pushing also. So I think to me it's simple. Like with hockey, it's not a sport that can really be practiced by a lot of people. First of all, you need to be in a country that's cold and has snow and ice for you to play hockey. It's not the most accessible sport. As a kid, I really wanted to play hockey, but my dad is like, yo, all this equipment is way too expensive. Stick to soccer. Like you just need like some cleats and a ball. Actually, forget cleats. Like if you have a soccer ball, like you can
Right.
take it anywhere and play. Street, grass, park, whatever. You'll find a way to play. Basketball is the same thing. It's a lot more accessible. Like there's a lot of courts you can find around. Like just go get you some cheap ball at like Dollarama and like bombs away. You know what I mean? But with hockey, it's not accessible to everybody. It's a lot more expensive, and it's only a like certain like demographic that like plays it. I mean,
Good way
like
to put it.
there's not a lot of black people playing hockey. That's why PK Subban was my guy. I was like, oh my god, there's black people playing hockey. I was like, yo, this is sick. You know what I mean? So that's also a thing. It's just like the demographic of it. But I think it's changing. It's getting more diverse. But I think again, going back to curation, I think if the NHL were to curate it in a way where there's something for people to enjoy, and not make it just so like segmented to like only a few people that just know about the sport. I think a lot more people would be like interested in it because it's a great sport.
It's a great sport to watch. Why is it that, like, I guess you probably don't have the answer, but you're the closest person I can get to NHL.
Right.
So I mean, also we can cut out some of the stuff too.
Yeah, as you wish.
I'll send you a draft and then you just let me know what you want and
Okay.
what you don't.
I'll probably tell you just go with whatever you want anyway. So
But like,
yeah.
What was I gonna say? I just fucking blanked.
About
Yeah.
hockey,
So
yeah.
why cannot NHL get like celebrities like, for example, the Jenners and Beckham?
Oh,
and
okay.
these people to give it like more
to
mainstream
like sponsor and give eyes to it. Again, I think it's the same thing. They're just not really aware of the sport, I would say. Like I think it's just about like education, really.
I feel like if
and
NHL
again,
hired me as like the person who represents NHL,
yeah,
bro, it'd be crazy. Like a YouTube
What would you
partnership is, well, great question. First of all, I would like it needs to be a little more accessible as well.
1000%.
So possibly like I don't know when their contract is ending, but I would like approach YouTube, for example.
Yeah, no, that's big.
Get a lot of content creators to the games, TikTok content creators, because like we got to look at who the next genre is to watch hockey and how they're gonna make money.
Yeah, I was reading a article on like hockey demographics, but they're saying that like the future of it is like I mean it's a lot of kids that are tuning into hockey now. Like close to like half of like their viewership is like young kids now.
Yeah.
And also women are like interested a lot more in the sport. I don't really like know all the details as to like why, but it's like to me like knowing that it's like okay, that's a demo you need to like cater to a lot more now. And like even with us, like sometimes a big talking point is making content for TikTok or for Reels, because like the kids, obviously that's where they like consume a lot of their
Like
their
it could
content.
be as simple as Connor Bedard.
McDavid.
No, Connor Bedard.
Oh, Bedard. Oh, yeah.
Like,
Okay, yeah.
How do I pronounce his name?
Connor.
Bedard.
I think is it
Bedard.
Bedard? Yeah, I think Bedard.
Pardon me. Him just coming to Complex for his like top 10 essentials I use.
1000%.
Imagine the amount of eyes that are gonna go.
Or like if you hopped on like Hot Ones or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Those are a big thing. But it's the NHL to understand. It's like that's a direction we have to go in, and I don't think everybody really gets it yet.
Yeah.
Because the traditional audience of the NHL and hockey does not care for it, but they got to think about the future.
Exactly.
I think that's what a league like the NBA and NFL understands. It's like, okay, we know we have a core audience here, and we still have everything set in place to cater to them, but we need to do more for the next generation that's coming up. You know what I mean? And embrace those things. So
yeah, like get on DAZN, for example.
Yeah. I think the streaming thing is going to be interesting, and even with the NBA, because like next year they're renewing their TV contracts.
Exactly.
And I'm curious to see what like streaming platforms and stuff are gonna like play a role in how everything's distributed. Like obviously they have their league pass and you know there's the ESPN pluses and stuff for people to like tune into, but you know
But that's not really us, I feel like.
no, it's not. So you know I thought it was really interesting when the MLS made like the Apple TV
Yeah,
deal.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, they get
Yeah,
it.
I guess, I mean, let's talk about different minds.
Yeah, for sure.
Diff minds,
Mhm.
right? So,
Whichever you want. Yeah. different minds. Yeah.
exactly. So what is your why?
What's my why? Like, creatives deserve a shot, deserve an opportunity, deserve a look, and like we mentioned earlier, like good art, good work deserve like is good regardless of what it is or how you think about it. So, I think people like I'm trying to like just say the right words
No,
here, but
you're chilling.
my why is just like at first it was really like a personal thing. I was just like, yo, I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't feel like there's enough for me to thrive in this city, although we have all the right, you know, resources, the right environment, the right people, for me to, you know, succeed in my creative endeavors. And I recognize that there's a lot of other people that feel the same way as me. And I would hate for people to always feel like I have to get out of Montreal to make it. So that's my big why with that. It's just like what Montreal isn't where it's supposed to be yet and where it deserves to be. So that's like my main driving force behind everything that I do. Is this helping the city? Is it helping the artists? Is it helping the creatives? Are the right stories getting out there? Are people expressing themselves how they want to? Am I curating the city the right way? Am I presenting the right stuff, the right people? So, yeah, it's a long, like, winded thing, but my why is just, like, Montreal deserves it. You know
That's
what I mean?
spot
Just
on.
like anybody else. Like, I could have been from Copenhagen, and I would have felt the same thing. It's just, I'm here. I lived here my whole life. I resonate with Montreal and its culture. I love the fact that, you know, I can talk English and French and throw in some Arabic and, you know, Creole, and we all like understand what we're saying. Like I went to a high school, my second high school, where there was like 150 plus different nationalities in one school. I remember that being in like the local like paper, and I was like, yo, this is ill as hell. But it's like I don't think people are like really putting light on the stuff that like we have. Is great food, is great places to go. Whether you just want to go out, you know, at a bar or a club to have some fun, or you just want to catch a good concert and a good vibe. Like you can just walk around and you'll find something to do. You'll meet somebody with whom you like, you know, resonate with. You know what I mean? So I just think like there's a lot of great things to offer that other cities can't, in my opinion. So that's my whole mission, just to bring Montreal to the world, because the world is Montreal to me. If you had to like wrap up the world in one city, to me it's Montreal. So we we have it.
Yeah.
We have it. And I hate when people try and like negate that fact or choose to think about it in a pessimistic way because of how it's set up now. And I understand that it's not we're not there yet, and there's a lot of things to change. But it can happen, most definitely. And again, no one's gonna argue that we don't have talent here. Even the people that want to leave Montreal or have to leave Montreal to find the right opportunities, even they'll tell you, yeah, Montreal has everything we need, but you know,
It's no New York, but like this
New
can
York.
be
It
New
can be.
York.
It can be bigger than New York.
I love
It
it.
can be big. It can be bigger than New York. Even I look at Toronto a lot because, and again, I was born there, but I spent a lot of time there as well, and I seen the city change and I seen the shift. Like I was supporting the Raptors when that wasn't like a thing, you know what I mean? And now like they've become more of a brand. Like I'm seeing artists like definitely make sure they have Toronto in their in their tours when they're moving around. It's like I
Yeah.
have to go to Toronto now. Like this is the city. You met like if you go to the States and you talk about Canada, I bet you a lot of people will refer to Toronto
Exactly.
oftentimes. You know what I mean? And that wasn't the case before. It's like, oh, y'all live in igloos and shit. Like that's what Canada
Yeah.
like was. You know what I mean? So I say that to say I've seen Toronto, up close, and obviously like I was never there, but I've seen it change. I've seen it shift. There's an energy. I used to walk downtown with my siblings or my parents, and it was just like a calm vibe. Now it's like it's flooded. Like it's a lot of people. It's getting more expensive because they know people are coming through. So it's like, okay, I've seen this shift happen, and I'm looking at Montreal. I'm like, we have everything that Toronto has, New York has, Paris has, London has, and then some. You know what I mean? It's like, again, like, yo, I hear artists here like have a verse in French and a verse in English. And I'm like, yo, that's fly as hell. Like, that's dope. You have like Afro beats and reggaeton, which is like taking over the world, and people don't understand a word they're saying. So how come like we can't like be the next wave that pops off? You know what I mean? And with the blend of culture that we have, it's like it's just fly to me. And even when I'm saying this, like it still irks me that people here don't embrace it as much, and the fact that we still aren't like where we're supposed to be because we have everything that we need. I keep like going in circles with that, but yeah, I really believe in Montreal and what we got. And I don't have the talent to sing. I don't have the talent to break ankles and shoot hoops like I think so in my head. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, what can I do? I can tell stories, and I'm gonna do that to my best of my abilities with my guys, with collaborators as yourself. You know what I mean? And just like get the word out there and tell the right stories. Package it the right way, and it's gonna happen at some point. It's just a matter of time.
Well, that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
I just kind of want to say, like, first of all, there's a lot of people from Montreal listening and watching to this.
Yeah.
So this probably inspires them.
I
As well
hope
as,
so.
I'm someone from Montreal now.
Yeah.
Whatever you need, like, I got you like that.
That's right.
And this is how you build a community.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you bring people together with all the talent.
Right.
And you make something.
That's the thing. It's just there's a perspective shift that has to happen within the majority of people in this like community that we have. And like there's strength in numbers to me. So if we all decide, it's like, okay, it doesn't just have to be on my shoulders to like make it, or you know what I mean? I don't have to do this alone. Just for my own like personal success. Like I can lean on other creatives here that want the same thing and want to win for me to succeed. And it doesn't have like, no one's going to take away from your own like success. You know what I mean? And like people who think that way, it's just like you're not even confident in your own work. Like if you're that nice at what you do, whoever you're collaborating with or working with like shouldn't like overpower what you do if you're that good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, just like trust in what you do. Do it your way. Do it in an authentic way, a truthful way. Like I say with storytelling, just have your own sauce to it. Don't try and like be a character that you're not. Do that, and as long as you have that in mind, like whatever else comes around it, if you let it, can help you elevate as much as you can, and you'll get to where you want to anyways. I choose to believe that. I think there's a lot of blueprints of that in different areas. So why can't it happen here?
I love how passionate you are, man.
I
I can resonate that fucking energy. Yeah. Something you said on Different Mind, you said, ask yourself what would happen. Ask yourself what would happen if you actually try that crazy idea you have.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk to you about that. What is that crazy idea that you have?
Man, crazy idea right now. Like,
Is it,
Well,
or is just putting Montreal on the
I
map?
don't think it's like a crazy idea, but I just like I really want to like film my own like shows eventually at some point. Like that's something I really like want to do, like A to Z, like a Diff Minds like production, a Diff Minds curated event. Like I I listen to a lot of different music and consume a lot of different content from the city, and I think sometimes like just a show with a mic and a DJ behind you just doesn't like cut it sometimes. So it's like, and also like I consume different things for different occasions also. So back to like curating, like I really like want to set the scene for specific people that I really want to support and encourage. I want to set the scene for them to really like, vibe out. Like for all I know, we come to like your apartment and just like set up some stuff, set up some nice lights, and just like vibe out, because like this one girl maybe just makes great like acoustic music or whatever, or just has a great voice, and we just like need to vibe out, like lounge type thing, you know what I mean?
Like I said, man,
that's a big thing I have my eyes set on, amongst a lot of different things. But eventually, like I would love to do that. I would love to like turn the Bell Center and like as like a club for like a night or something.
Fuck yeah, strength in numbers.
Yeah, 1,000%. I want like the whole Olympic Stadium to be like a hub that people come through to like vibe out and like have a great experience about Montreal, with music, sports, art, all that stuff. I want somebody like, forget going to LA to think you can like make it. Like come to Montreal and like vibe out. You know what I mean? We got everything you need here. So like those are the things I have my eyes like set on for the long run.
Exactly. Come to Montreal. How would you say that in French?
Come to Montreal?
Yeah.
Venez à Montréal.
Venez à Montréal.
Vous êtes la bienvenue. Vous êtes la bienvenue.
Just a quick short answer segment.
Okay.
What is a brand that you have an eye on currently? It could be a brand or it could be a project.
A Montreal brand?
It could be any brand or project.
Okay, I'll give you one I'll give you a Montreal one, and I'll give you one I really rock with.
Okay.
One I really rock with is OVO, like October's Very Own.
October's Very Own.
I think they through them I learned what curation was, and that you can have a brand that can live in a lot of different areas and in a lot of different spaces, and for it to still kind of come full circle. As far as Montreal goes, I really like. I mean, off the hook is a store I really rock with, and we did some work with them over the summer, and we're looking to do some more, hopefully like very soon. But it's like when I walked in, I was like, it was one of the rare like shopping experiences where I was like, I don't feel like I'm shopping, I'm just like vibing out. And I did notice also that people from other cities like make it a point to come here so they can like shop at like Off the Hook, and like and they do a good job of like also having a lot of Montreal brands in their own store. So they support their own, but you can also just kind of go get the latest drops and stuff like that. So eventually I'll go on a little spree at Off the Hook. But I rock with them. Yeah.
What place, it could be a cafe, store, restaurant, gives you freedom to work?
Ooh, crazy club. I'm home a lot, but I like Parma Cafe. Parma Cafe. They have a few locations, and there was one like kind of right next to my work that I had over like the summer, so I spent a lot of time there, and they have this fire like crispy chicken sandwich, bro.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
like, yeah, it's a nice spot. It's good food. It's a nice like just like calm little cafe. Sometimes I just go there to like just write, just bring my notebook, write, just vibe out. If not, I'm just like at a park somewhere. Yeah.
All right. Any book you would want to recommend? Do you read?
I'm getting back into it a lot. A book that I would recommend would be one that I haven't finished the book, but the Creative Act by
Rick
Rick
Rubin.
Rubin
Yeah.
has been a good like book for me to like. It's almost, it's kind of like a guide almost. It's not one you have to like read from like page 1 to the end. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of like find what you need at that moment, and there's gonna be like a lot of good gems in there. And also Kobe Bryant, Mamba mentality.
Oh wow.
I go back to that book a lot. And again, I'm a big fan of him, but I think for anybody who just wants to be great at anything, like he like to me he's not even human in the way he thinks about like, you know, succeeding and like achieving greatness. So if you just want to win in life, like just read that book, I would say. So those would be the two.
I'm gonna get Creative Act just so I can read like before bed.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm trying to read The Alchemist too right now.
Alchemist?
Yeah, I keep like restarting the book, but I hear like
Bro, that's me with Think and Grow Rich. I keep
Okay.
restarting the book. I think I'm like halfway. I was halfway last year, and then I forgot where I was.
Okay.
So I restarted the whole damn thing again.
Oh, and 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
I got that one recently, and I was like, it's just a different perspective of how to have a good work-life balance, which I'm huge on.
Something I really want to do is just have a bookshelf in future, and every time a guest comes, I gift them a book.
That would be fine. That'd be fine. Kind of how like Nardwar gives and stuff. You know who Nardwar is?
Yeah, of course. Okay.
So yeah, maybe you could do that with books.
And imagine Rick Rubin sitting on a beanbag.
That'd be eventually.
Eventually.
One more for you. Virgil Abloh, Icons. It's like a collab book he did with Nike, but like you can follow like his progress about making like his Nike collabs, like the 10. I'm not a huge fashion guy, but I'm a big Virgil Abloh guy, and he's a very like great creative mind. So that book right there is like just something I'll, you know, skim through, go back to, and just kind of see how he went about certain things. So yeah.
Any music you got on the rotation at the time?
Ooh. Well, I was just bumping For All the Dogs. On the way here.
Man, I love For All the Dogs, for real.
I was on the fence about it at first, but I really like it. And I'm a big Drake fan, but
dude,
I was like, it's cool. But there's a song on there, Jewel Picasso, which is produced by Young Troy, who's from Montreal. But to me, that's the best song on the album by far.
Oh, word.
When I'm driving at nighttime, like that shit just hits, bro. So I've had that. Damn. Brent Fires just dropped an album today that I was listening to. But yeah, I vary a lot. Joe K, who's a DJ, Soulection, he has great like mixes and stuff.
Okay.
So and like I don't know, like yesterday I was listening to like Smokey Smokey Robinson, and just some like old black blues and jazz and stuff. I like to vary.
Fair, man. I've been listening to a lot of jazz lately.
Such a vibe. When I wake up, like that's kind of like the playlist that I that I have going. So yeah.
One of my favorite conversations.
This is dope, man. This is dope, man.
You know, if other creatives wanna get in touch with you, what are some of the easiest ways?
Just DM me, bro. At karim_fall_ or hit up at Diff Minds, bro.
Hell yeah.
Just DM me.
You got that at, hey, Diff Minds.
Yeah, at Diff Minds. Yeah. I was lucky I didn't have to add like a dot or underscore there.
Yeah.
So, that was sick. But yeah, just DM me. I'm always down there to just chop it up with any creative about anything. So yeah.
And yeah. Let's end it. The other camera died, so
it's all good. We're making it work how we can,
yes,
bro.
Sir. Yes,
this
sir.
Is fire,
Thanks
bro.
for coming, bro. For
y'all subscribe, y'all follow all that, man.
Bro, follow Karim. Go, like literally, just look at his website, and that's it.
I got a lot more stuff coming, a lot of different stuff also. So yeah, just be locked in. You know,
just be locked in. Yes, sir. All right.
Sick, man.
We'll end it here.
Awesome, man. This is dope.